All right, so this next tip is actually, believe it or not only a choking hazard, but also a poisoning hazard. So it's become such a problem that they've actually created a separate hotline that we'll provide details to below, specifically because of button or disc batteries. Now, I'm going to show you what those look like in a second, but let's take a typical dinosaur. You know, they'll have them right here, and the way they're secured is with this little screw, okay? So you might say, well, my baby doesn't know how to unscrew one of these. Okay, well, theoretically, you might have more than one child, right? So like I have 4 of them, and one of my children, who is now 6, Marcus, loves to take things apart. So we have this little screwdriver, which he could easily figure out how to take this apart, and now my 4-year-old daughter could also figure out how to take this thing apart just with this. Now you might say, okay, well, I don't have this specific toy. Well, these button batteries appear in a lot of different toys, and here's sort of what they look like. They just are these little disc batteries, lithium batteries, and what ends up happening is the children look at them, they're shiny, and they'll actually try to swallow them. Now, what makes this so dangerous is that it can actually burn a hole through the tissue in your throat within less than 2 hours, and there's even been cases where a child has swallowed multiple disc batteries, because some of them are a lot smaller than this, and they've touched in the baby's stomach, and they've actually lit on fire basically internally. All right, so there have been a lot of deaths, severe internal injuries from these things. And the other thing too is that sometimes the child does not actually immediately have feelings like this is what I did. It's over time. They only catch it on an X-ray. And that's when it's gone way too far, because then it might have even gotten into their intestine. So it might be over a period of even days before you know exactly what happened. You might think they ate something and they're not admitting to actually swallowing one of these things. So whenever you have any of these toys, be very aware of which ones specifically have these batteries. If you're insisting on having these toys, make sure that this is very, very tight, number 1. Number 2, do not leave these little screwdrivers around if you have other kids. And again, over time, these screws may become loose and you want to avoid any kind of tragedy like this. So again, we are going to provide details on those, on the battery, basically the poison center for this. To give you an idea of how many of these things are happening, they had to set up a separate line for that in addition to the poison control. That's how bad it is. So this is happening in an epidemic basically for kids around the world because these are so prevalent. And they're not just in toys. These can be in cameras. These can be in even greeting cards, the ones that you open and people dance around and stuff like that. So they can easily come out of those, and they're even exposed typically in those greeting cards. So again, be very aware of these lithium disc batteries. Come in multiple sizes, and just make sure that you account for all of them. And as we've talked about before, now that you've seen this video, scan your home just in case they're inside of cushions or they're under the couches, anywhere you could possibly think of. Just basically do a scan of your entire house and make sure these are accounted for. And also make sure if you do have toys, again, that you tighten these up and then put the screwdriver up high. Not only can it unscrew this, but it's also sharp. All right, thank you so much. For more newborn, baby, and child safety tips, strategies, and training, please like and share this video, become a subscriber of Our Child's Keeper, and click that bell icon so you'll be alerted when we post next. Because the more you know as a parent, the safer your children will always be. Thank you so much.